Interesting. Back to you. Good morning again. This is on March 31st, 2021, Wednesday, and back to you about talk, which is of course important one. I was sharing screen, but two times it happened that it broke. So I thought to talk to you again personally, if it's possible, for a couple of minutes. It's unfortunate. I have made many complaints to Airtel, but I don't think what's happening is right. My objective is talk quality. Many complaints I have written to them. I have lost with them, but it thinks that they are taking it for granted. They respond, okay, we are working on this, and if they don't work, I think they have got business, good business. So when you have good business, you start ignoring your clients, your consumers. This happens. This, after all, Bharat, India, where quality is least bothered and business is more bothered. You can go to whatever extent in your business. It may be ethics or no ethics. It doesn't matter for business people. Those people, we can't avoid this fact because culture has become like that. Our culture has gone to that. People, and we claim that we are best in what. There is no response, there is no answer to that. But as far as quality is concerned, we can't hit it. At international level, quality is given more value. When I was working, I was in Gulf countries, Middle East countries. If I compare study from where I started from Iraq, where I think on one project I learned a lot. Means I was very young at that time. I can't say that I was good engineer. I was very ordinary. Still I am ordinary. Means of course something I learned. I cannot say that I am high profile engineer like others claim. I never claim. I am very small person first of all. I am not a claimer. I did not win any award. I don't want. You may say when you don't have grapes, that grapes are. Oh, you can say. But remember, whatever you learn in life, it's not for you alone. It's for others as well. I did not have a chance of that privilege when I left my university or college studies. I had no literature as such that could, I had no guidance as such that could enrich my knowledge, or I could know problems before problems are erupted. Problems erupt, and you have to find solutions for them. That didn't happen. But now it's different. It's complete hodgepodge on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and many others. People want to give information, and they give information, but question is, information is reliable or it's not reliable. That's point to be considered. Let us say it's reliable. I wasn't that lucky, and like me, many others were not lucky. We have to learn from experience, we have to learn from mistakes, we have to learn from errors. Everybody is learning, and that's right of professional to learn from errors. And when you have right to learn from errors, there must be something also unwritten, that there's a right to commit error as well, though it's not written. But errors are accepted indirectly. Those impact on time as well as on quality as well as on repetition, And I made mistakes. You too make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But if mistakes involve learning, but it happens rarely. You can't say that you are right everywhere. If you repeat mistake, you are not a professional. Sometimes instruction is not complete. You do not know what you have to do. what you try to do. Sometimes you feel shy to even learn from those who know job, but they are not very well educated. It happens. It should not happen. But that time is gone. I learned minute by minute in 1982 by someone, 1981 by from someone who had millimeter accuracy in checking, in examination of activity. I was very impressed by those people, Iraqi people particularly. Means they had no tolerance. 1 millimeter to 1000 millimeter. Is it a tolerance? Not a tolerance. Why your plumb is out of 1 millimeter? Means suppose if it's a 4 meter height of a column at the cost, maximum permissible 3 to 4 mm maximum out. You can't do more than that, particularly because of face work. It may not be face work, it may not be fascia, it may be fair face or may not be fair face. We don't allow more tolerance than that. And also same thing applies in measurements as well. Grid measurements, x-axis, y-axis, A, B, 1, 2, 3, all that. You have to control everything. In those days there was no very much good distance survey, you can say. Very advanced survey instruments were not available. But you know what we learn in universities that doesn't work in field. We know it very well. Other than design, you can say, other than design, don't work. Designs, of course, work. We can't say that designs do not work. Theory of structure, analysis of structures, and designs do work. But that's an office. I'm talking of real work when design is converted to practical, shared, physical world, mundane world. Ultimately, objective of design is to construct, nothing else. And if you cannot construct, what's the purpose of design? You designed keep in your cold store for 10 years, it doesn't mean anything. Just like book, it is nothing else. Means a book is also read by students and by others, but when you do design, nobody will read it. Because everybody cannot understand design, and it's no use for, okay, students may like to see that, but until it is done on site, it's no meaning. So I still remember those people, of Iraq, really speaking. It was my class teacher, like you can say. One was, carpenter, very old carpenter. Old that time means he used to come before inspection of shutters, when he used to kept ready out columns or fascia or slab. He used to come and see the accuracy of formwork. Line accuracy means he used to measure from all grades, no other way, used by strings and not by millimeter by millimeter. Used to check grid lines, means this column to that column. You make grids of all that by thread. I will take thread to thread measurement. I will not take that. And of course, then shutters measurement, line of shutter, dimension of shutter, and shutter from grids only. And of course, he has different methods, and he taught us a method. I want to check that way. If you can do that, it's fine. Otherwise, I won't come to site to check. Without his inspection approval, he could not do that. We had to approve shuttering. All this is an interesting one. Of course, we for first couple of inspections we wasted time, but when we had understood what this guy wants, then we followed that. Means it was not difficult once you understand that. Your foremen, your workers, when you understand that, it's okay, fine, we do it. And of course, we complied with those, and of course I faced some problems there. It doesn't matter. Also in one project there was a young engineer from Iraq, and he also was very tough in checking, and other engineers used to call me, don't argue with this engineer, he's too tough. And but I used to argue with him also, and when you argue, I used to argue, he just say, okay, fine, thank you, okay, go on, I find means. If you explain to him why you have done this, so okay, fine. But ultimately, what the problem is, everybody has a habit of calling sir, and sir. And some people who believe in quality, who believe in work, they don't believe in this title, sir. They say, you work okay, if your work is okay, don't call me sir. Why do? Meaning is that I'm saying a call, but I learned from him that one of my friends says, he didn't say anything to you. Why shall he say to me? And I explained to him, why you're objecting to this? This is bending moment. This is resistance of this step. Why you say this is not right? So you stand on this. It won't come down. So, well, I'm just giving an example. Don't take it otherwise. I did so much on my personal attention about roofing items or the finishing items. I used comments, slope, and everything, and I proved that one. Only my items used up in one go, and sometimes, okay, come on, go ahead, no problem. I don't come, I'll come later on. This happened, but that carpenter on that structural work were very tough, and I think I had to face some problems there, but no issue. I came into line, and he then used to do fast work and fast inspections, and we didn't find much problem in steel reinforcement because it was not that person, it's a different person, educated one, who actually was a female, Iraqi female, and she just used to come and say, okay, fine, this is fine, that's fine, just so superficially she was that. Now my answer is that sometimes you get people who can teach you virtually on site, and that's what I want to know. That's what quality people I call them. I don't call them illiterate or something, but they have experience, and that experience is important in your talk. That experience teaches you. Means they may not. He used to calculate like anything, on paper. Okay, you have taken 1 meter string out of this grid line, so out of 1000 you can see how to deduct this size of column, half of this, then you take half of this 18 mm ply, and then you have to take 50 mm or 75 mm batten on that, and then also another batten. So this is total how much, and that one so much. I want to see this from string to your ply or to your batten. I want to see this dimension, and then it's really strong one means, and not only one at one place, two places it is in the column both ways, two places on this axis and two places on that axis, and at top and bottom as well, both locations. And then he used to say, okay, size, and then plumb also he used to check at is in two sides and at two locations. The 1 millimeter and 1000 millimeter, that's the accuracy required on that project at that time. Well, I'm saying that I was really very impressed as far as workmanship checking was, examination was concerned. Such people we should have here, but we don't have here such people. We say, okay, no problem, 1 or 2 millimeter or 3.5 centimeter, no problem, we'll adjust in plaster. Means adjustment is here available for everything. Means how can you adjust in plaster? I don't understand. I did my building, I didn't do plaster on my columns. Why should I plaster when I get enough cover? Well, there's no need of plaster. Why waste time? If you think plaster is more strong than concrete house, not that. Means what I'm saying is really something interesting. The quality aspect we consider ourselves. I reached after that sometime I reached to, say, these are some references I'm just giving him. Is how could I involve myself in that? So you have to learn from people, and he used to say the quality is very important in this country, and you cannot go without. It's 1980s when Saddam Hussein was there. Quality is very important. Otherwise, if this government knows that if you are not doing quality work, they can take action against you and to go to a distance. So all government engineers of Iraq and consultants were strict in that. Of course, they used to do other, but this was very important. Quality is important. Means you can't run away. You could run away from there. Then I went to Libya. I was in government engineer on my own project. I was doing this. Means there's no contractor at all. We had to do ourselves everything, procure material and to work. And we had, of course, government, our own workers, and all resources we had to means we had to do ourselves everything. And of course, it was interesting on that. I followed same because we got drawings from France that time, so power station and substations, etc. And then those drawings are very indicative, very discipline. But speaking drawings, every tutor was given sketch form. This isometric or sketch, you follow this for this one. So I was responsible for construction of power station. Of course, in generator power stations, there are 4 generators installed in that. Big generators, 2,500 kVA. So we have to mass excavations and mass foundations. And there are, generator, which means dynamic machine, vibrating machines, transfers, variations to foundations, isolation of that base, and footing block, and between raft, it was an isolation provided. So I learned a lot. I did my all more than what that taught, that a person taught. I did myself on that. Each and everything used the same wasting and all that. It's perfect work done. Means all the foundations for about 1.5 year work there. And then this because our company wanted that this company engineer could come this France. Yeah, and has to make sure that this concrete work is okay. Only then they could accept that. So this engineer came, and this engineer spent 2-3 days on that site and measured everything. That's okay, fine, it's okay, no problem. I was, you can say, was free from that binding. That's what quality means. You ask everything about how you how did you do this at this stage, what you did then after that, all procedure. It just means like a method statement, because what about a method statement that could not be written. We did not write any method statement, but I explained to him each and everything. It's okay, fine, that's okay. And then certify, okay, I have seen work and that's right, okay, no problem at all. Like what just happens now. I'm not saying that what I did was right or wrong, but that was my option, that was my chance, opportunity to do. So what I say, quality issues, very important issue, quality issue. Quality issues cannot be taken for granted. If those are taken for granted, they themselves are granted. In engineering works, quality is very important because it's going to work for decades, and that's again I say, engineering product is very important. So engineering products, not machine, it's not some small item, it's the item that costs millions and millions, and we have to take care about that because it's our home, it's our building, it's our office, it's our whatever. We use that money in projects, and we had to take back returns of those. So let's say quality means something you have to produce as defined or as demanded, rather than as demanded in the specification or demanded in the contract. When I say demand is also an important point. Demand cannot be just reflected away. It has to be made in really a way that nobody can challenge it. Demand. If you do quality production, well, I think you're best one. I mean, you're not best in world, but at least you're best in that contract specification. You understand specification and produce according to that. This means quality. If you're giving us you know quality, you know work, so you are a person suitable for that particular project. And that's where CV was required for approval. Whenever used in Gulf countries, this is a general practice. Your CV is demanded if you are going to join some conventional position, or you can join customer position as engineer. Also, you say then that engineer is written one. That happens. Well, it is an interesting part to know all this, where I can say I had something to do with that. I cannot say I did, but whatever I did was right. I'm not saying that, but it should be done properly. Quality is that it's not joke to take quality into consideration. Quality is quality. You cannot throw it. You cannot throw it. So this talk which I'm making about quality is, it's very important talk, where quality means it is related to cost, it's related to time, it's related to risks, it's related to everything that I will take care of in documents. I cannot join that document now because that document's over, and I'm now doing only this, what you can call it. These documents have to close. There's so many of these documents, except that if I say this is document, then say as it's risk impact due to change in scope. Yes, of course it is. And I also said that there is risk impacts due to change in quality standards, and I also said that risk impact due to changes in schedule time, and of course risk impacts due to changes in cost, and risk impacts due to particular non-known scope. That as far as we are concerned, we have to understand them. All these impacts. Now, change in scope is no joke. You can't do that. Change in scope, you can't go for that. I'll go for change in scope. It's not in your hands. You are bound to do whatever's given in scope until it's changed. If you change scope, means it impacts everything else. Change in scope is very rarely used. If there's something done excessively, you have to be careful. The point comes in here, in general quality issues, that quality means perfection to some extent. You may say perfection to some extent. What you want to do should be according to requirement, and requirement is known to everyone who's engineer or others, managers, organizers. If they have gone through tender bid documents, they must know what is purpose of that. that project, what's the purpose of that scope, how can we do that scope. That scope is taken into consideration when we do scheduling out and planning. We have to put all this accelerating diagram, and that's where we can say, okay, fine, we understand this. And when you understand this, basically list out activities, this is my scope, and that scope is agreed one, and that is given. All those scope, your scope and other scope are combined one, and division of responsibility is fixed, and then you have to do your scope in your way. So, where, for example, I can say ordinary building, take example, means it has certain activities which you may say that these are fine. This is RCC building, or this is structural steel shed, or this is some other one. This is building of plant, or what this plant is, means how many areas in this plants or facilities are, you can say. This is kind of a plant, it's kind of some process plant, or it's kind of power station, it's kind of radioactive, or it's some like city building, or it's kind of, you can say, the broad one, whatever. And we have to move from here to here, and that's why our mobility becomes higher in daytime. Alright, then what should I say? I should think of that, how to manage, how to organize all this, which is not too difficult to understand this, We have to chart out the program accordingly, we have to write all the statements that are required for each activity. We have to start from execution and before that setting, and also we have to chart the execution statement. It's important. Execution statement is very important in the sense that it's not, we have to chart out whole project as a whole, and it must be given at a time of technical submission. It's also part of technical submission, submission technical, which tells means what you are considering, what you are going to do. It includes execution statement. This includes your planning chart, it includes your resources, it includes your histograms, it includes what's your company, what's your capacity is. But establish that, and then we have to say, okay, statement, should we go, and how shall we carry out this, that's the point means. We have to give our philosophy, our whole line means what we are going to do, what we can do. And that's what this execution statement is, execute whole project. But statement wise, we can't do net technical submission, we have to do separately. Because each activity must be agreed in terms of way it's going to execute. A small or a big one doesn't make a difference as far as activity is related. And that activity dominates our world of thoughts, also everything. So my present time says that whatever I did was too little. Those on many projects I wrote those those you can say method statements or procedures, and very interesting because it's in your mind what you're going to do, depending on trying information. Also, person was sitting in office or coordinating on them cannot do that. It's really interesting to note how to write statements. It's not stories this right there to go. I just imagine that you just stand there and cite. Imagine that you'll find it. You're not in the room, you're inside, it's free of here. Yeah, free of here. People. Your crew should know, your client should know, your company should know what shall you do, which sequences you are going to follow. This becomes a record, and you are going to do this activity. Until there is demand, you should not act any other activity. Yes, of course, there is something. Quality document is very important one. Quality plan. If you say, how do we plan our manuals? How do we plan our safety plan? How do we plan quality project plan? And quality plan itself, which is very important one, might be seen, might be not seen. It can also be a part of project plan. In quality plan, ultimately, what quality method we are going to? We have complete system in our company. We follow this quality and we just follow this system, and accordingly ISO 9000 2015 now they are in revisions, and that's of course there's given less responsibility under that. Quality engineer is not alone in the company, there's bosses also. Those bosses are all bosses also. Quality was that when we have to understand that what we have to do. We have resources like human resources, we have machines, we have technical information in drawings, we have specifications, and we have experience. We have course, relevant course only. That exercise unit very clear. Very clear. We have to understand. It takes time to go through volumes of specifications. It's not simply we know our specific in this country, those specific may not be practically applicable in some of the country. So I think that's an issue because the writers. Well, we have to keep ourselves safe in quality. We must go through all specification documents because from here only we can know what quality is. It's of course very boring that you have to go through documents, you have to relate to your drawings, and you have to collect information also if some information is in conflict or missing. There may be instances that because the specifications are not done by one person, it is not done one time, this also takes time. That's why years are required for project documentation. That one we have to understand very well. If we can cover up to that stage, we can be successful. We can say I'm successful. I've gone through specifications, I understand them, and there will be references of course, and then course will be another reference. But what we are going to do is specification only. Excavation is specification. You can say survey specifications. You can also feed documents, and you can also say design documents. And you may say there are, you can say, other concrete documents, grinding concrete, fresh concrete, or you can say structuralized located that must be understood properly. If I don't go through those long specifications, I can't understand anything. Office, this, house, you can sleep in bed. Now we can say, okay, we have gone through a long way after studying all this. We understand what is that, but we have to write to others what to do. Because we have to satisfy myself. I have to satisfy myself what I'm going to do. It should be according to requirements, should not be laughing stock. No. So we say excavation. Right? How is this going to be done? Further considerations of this talk, I would like to say, of course, there was some pause. But in this method statement which I take up, I would say excavation is a very important part which must be taken brilliant care by manager, organizer and engineer, because it's evident in the sense that excavation, if it is located in area where there are underground services, important services for plant services, others, there are chances that we should know those who are studying excavation.